Owning a mid-size SUV is a dream come true for most Filipino drivers. Now, this is a dream that the mid-spec Jetour X70 Sport wishes to fulfill without having to sell a kidney. So how did this value mid-size SUV perform during the past week that I've been driving it? Well, stick around because I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's do this. Most Pinoy drivers aspire to own a 7-seater SUV given the size of our extended families. But even if a macho, high-riding 7-seater SUV is a top choice here, the reality is most 7-seater SUVs are out of reach, price-wise. That's why the more affordable MPVs that look like SUVs are quite popular here. But for those who want the real thing, the Jetour X70 Sport is here to answer that call. Priced at 1,299,000 Philippine pesos, this sporty 7-seater mid-size SUV promises to deliver the full SUV experience without breaking the bank. But given its attractive price point, can the Jetour X70 Sport truly deliver? Or will it fall short of our expectations? Let's find out. Here at Reygan's Rides, we do car reviews of SUVs, sports cars, trucks, and everything in between. So subscribe and hit the bell. We really love our SUVs here in the Philippines. I mean, it's the combination of large families, potholed roads, and the occasional flooding that we get that makes everyone truly want a 7-seater SUV. Now, for those of you who have 2 million pesos and up, well, you are spoiled for choice. But for majority who can only afford around a mil 3, yeah, the common 7-seater option would be to go for an MPV, for a small MPV in fact. Now, that's why a lot of car makers design their small MPVs to look like SUVs, which satisfies the visual aspect of an SUV. These MPVs, yeah, they look good, they're affordable, but they do lack one crucial feature of an SUV, of an actual SUV: power. Now, that's not really a big deal for most people, as long as their MPVs look good. In other words, yeah, if you can't perform, Japorm. But for those who are like me, who want a 7-seater that has the drive performance and power that is worthy of an actual SUV, then the Jetour X70 Sport is the way to go. You see, this mid-spec X70 Sport gets a 1.5-liter Turbo 4 engine that can put out 147 horsepower and 230 Newton meters of torque. Now that, my friends, is head and shoulders more powerful than any of the small MPVs found in its price category. We also have an 8-speed automatic transmission here, which is, yeah, more gears than any of those small MPVs, and it's in fact double the number of gears than some of those small MPVs. Now, that means that this X70 Sport can give you an effortless level of acceleration all the way up to illegal speed territory. Now, that 8-speed automatic is also smooth on the highway, although I did experience some gear hunting when I'm driving at slower speeds. We also have a sport mode and a winter mode here, which I found to be quite useful. Sport mode would give you a peppier drive, and it is my personal default setting whenever I drive the X70 Sport. Now, winter mode, or W, is perfect during slippery conditions, and we get a lot of that during the rainy season, so I'm glad that it's there. Now, the overall drive of this X70 Sport is, yeah, it's pretty well sorted. It has a fairly light yet a well-sorted steering feel. I mean, can't really expect much from a mid-size SUV at this price category. But it has a decent level of brake response, and you also have a good amount of overall visibility. The Jetour X70 Sport has a true blue SUV look. In fact, I said this in my Jetour X70 Plus review video. Yeah, this front fascia kind of reminds me of the Isuzu Mu-X. I guess it's the shape of that front grille as well as the shape of the headlights that bears a resemblance to that mid-size SUV. Now, of course, this being the mid-spec trim, well, Jetour Auto Philippines had to take a few cuts here and there in order to keep the price low. Now, that means that we only get halogen headlights here, and instead of fog lights, well, we only have LED DRLs on the front bumper. Now, the side profile has this cab back and long hood design, which I've seen in BMW SAVs as well as the newer Mazda CX-60. Now, this side profile has been further enhanced by the fact that we have 20-inch alloy wheels here. That's right, we have an SUV that's not even 1.3 million Philippine pesos, and yet it rides on 20-inch alloy wheels. I mean, dude, pare, sang ka pa, di ba? Of course, we also have power folding side mirrors here with LED turn signals, and behind those ginormous wheels, well, we have four-wheel disc brakes. Now, the suspension bits are also pretty premium. We have MacPhersons up front and multi-links at the back. Now, as for the ground clearance, well, the X70 Sport has a ground clearance of 210 millimeters, which is similar to the top spec X70 Plus. Usually, 7-seater vehicles at the 1.3 million Philippine peso price level would give you plasticky cabins, justifying this by using the practicality card. Not the X70 Sport. You see, we get a bunch of soft touch materials here, finished in two-tone brown and black. Heck, we even get blue ambient lighting on the dashboard, which is something that I didn't really expect to get in this price category. Now, we also have two-tone brown and black leather seats here that also come with power adjustments for the driver and heat function for the driver and the front passenger, which is, yeah, it's useful only if you live in colder areas. Now, we also have a leather-wrapped steering wheel here, which kind of shares the same feature as some of the other 7-seater small MPVs because it only tilts. Yeah, it doesn't really telescope, dude. So, unfortunately, it's a bit of a step back there. Now, we also have a fully digital gauge cluster here. That is, yeah, it's a pleasant surprise for a mid-size SUV in this category. There's also a 10-inch touchscreen infotainment system here that only makes do with Bluetooth connectivity. We don't get Apple CarPlay here or Android Auto, but we do have a 360-degree view camera image. So that's something I didn't expect for a value mid-size SUV, but at least we have that. Now, I'm not really complaining about the connectivity concern, but not having CarPlay or Android Auto because, well, yeah, there has to be some cuts to be made in order to keep the price competitive. Now, aside from that, yeah, the other features here include manual climate control system here. Now, thankfully, Jetour Auto Philippines also included an electronic park brake that comes with an auto hold button, something that we don't get in this price category amongst the 7-seater vehicles. And we also have a large panoramic sunroof there. Yes, that increases the visual appeal of the X70 Sport. Now, one thing I don't like about the cabin of the X70 Sport though is the placement of the USB charge port. I mean, I know it's a little bit of a nitpick, but I don't like it. You see, instead of putting the USB charge port here up front, I mean somewhere where it's visible and easily accessible, yeah, they hid the USB charge port inside the center console in an area where it's really hard to find. Now, luckily though, we do have a good set of safety features here, so at least there's that. The X70 Sport also gets some driver assist aids, something I didn't expect to get considering the size and the price of this vehicle. But we do have lane departure alert and also a blind spot monitor. Now with so many, blind and stupid drivers out there, these driver assist aids are pretty much a must-have already when you're driving on Philippine roads. As for the fuel economy, the X70 Sport delivers just about the same fuel consumption as the Jetour X70 Plus, which I also got to feature in my channel. That means that you're looking at around 8 kilometers per liter in the city and 14 kilometers per liter on the highway. Now, compared to the other MPVs in its price category, yeah, I'll have to admit that this X70 Sport is a little bit thirstier, but given the power that you have on tap, pare, it is of course a natural compromise. I always say this in my videos. With great power, naturally comes greater fuel consumption. Now, let's head over to the back seat so that I could share with you what the ride comfort is all about. Since the X70 Sport rides on 20-inch alloy wheels, well, the ride quality takes a bit of a compromise. You see, it can get a little bit jittery when you're driving on uneven roads. Because of those large wheels, there are also some road noises that are creeping into this cabin, especially when you're on the highway driving at speeds of 80 kilometers per hour or higher. That is a natural compromise for those large and beautiful 20-inch alloy wheels. You can't really expect the ride quality to be plush and smooth. I guess in Filipino, that's what we call tiis ganda. However, what I was surprised with here at the back seat, the second row seat, is the amount of amenities that we get. You see, this mid-spec X70 Sport, in fact, has more amenities than the top-spec X70 Plus when it comes to the second row seats. We get a couple of rear AC vents there. We have a pair of USB charge ports, and we also have an actual center armrest here with a pair of cup holders, something that the top-spec X70 Plus does not get. Now, some of you might be wondering, why is that, Reygan? I mean, how come the mid-spec gets a center armrest in the second row and the top-spec X70 Plus doesn't get it? Well, if I were to give you my theory, well, that's because this mid-spec X70 Sport is riding on the previous generation of the X70, while the X70 Plus is on the newer second generation X70 platform. Now, I know that's not really explaining why this still gets a center armrest and the top spec model doesn't get. So I guess, I don't know, maybe the real reason is, maybe they just forgot to tick it in the spec box. Maybe. Anyway, as for the third row seats, just like the top spec X70 Plus, this X70 Sport here has third row seats that are decent enough for kids or for adults when you're going on a short trip. If the front end gets halogen headlights, well, I'm happy to report that the taillights here are full LED. Now, of course, we also have that Jetour lettering there in the center, plus a pair of faux exhaust garnishes because, well, they are simply design pieces. Now, I am happy to share with you that this Jetour X70 Sport still comes with a power liftgate here. Now, that is a pleasant surprise. And once we have that liftgate open, you'll see that with the third row seats folded, we still have enough space here for around 3 to maybe 4 large Sky Travel luggage. Now, if you need more space than that, you can always tumble down the second row seats, and that should expand your overall space to 2x the capacity. The Jetour X70 Sport is a midsize SUV that punches way above its weight. It offers space, power, handsome good looks, and features that 7-seater small MPVs can only dream of. Paired with a 6-year vehicle warranty and strong after-sales support from Jetour Philippines, the Jetour X70 Sport is a very compelling 7-seater family SUV. It is an attractive option, especially for those who aspire to own a brand new 7-seater midsize SUV without the need to sell a kidney. Thanks for watching.